Hi everybody, welcome to our word problems weekly topic live stream this week. Right, so we have working backwards and cyclic problems. Okay, today we are using the book, right, the core topics master book. So please get them ready. Alternatively, you can also use the PDF that I have sent in the group chat. Okay. Hello. The chat is active as usual. Okay, we'll wait for 2 more minutes before we start. Yeah. All right, we will start in a minute. Right. In the meantime, I believe there is this uh, English materials giveaway. All right, it's already 5:30 p.m. So before I start, right, here is a little advertisement, right? I think Academy has already prepared 4 English mock papers based on past GEP round 1. So if you are interested, please share this poster, right? Share the poster and then collect 20 likes. Okay, so once you can share and get 20 likes, please contact teacher Ming Jie. Okay, not contact me, contact teacher Ming Jie, okay, through WeChat or WhatsApp, right? So that you can obtain the papers from him, right? We have 200 copies only. It's on first come, first serve basis. Okay, so any more info, please check our WhatsApp or WeChat prep group, right? Okay, and also, right, as usual, just to keep recapping for everyone, right? Today is our live stream day, right? After that, I will post the post-class practice. And on Friday, we will be posting a new weekly mock test. Okay, now with that, today is our first time, right, using this master book, right, the core topic master books. We'll be going through 2 topics in it. So please get this book ready. Okay, I will indicate the page numbers on every slide so you can just look through them. Alternatively, I have also sent the PDF in the group chat. Okay, any mode is fine, right? The questions are all the same. All right, with that, let's start off our lesson, right, with working backwards. So actually, all these work problems, right, I have chosen it based on the past practice problems, past mock tests, and it seems like some people really need a recap on basic working backwards questions. Now, for my MHA kids, we have gone through this, right, that more advanced one in class, but it's okay. Today, we will go back to the basics to which make sure we get everything covered, right? So with that, can anyone remind me in the chat, right? If we see a working backwards problem, what is usually the first problem solving tool that comes to your mind? Okay, if I say this is a working backwards problem, what is the first diagram that comes to your mind? Arrow diagram, tree diagram, bar model, maybe bar model, but even before that, the basic one, what is the most important tool or most common tool that we use, right? What kind of diagram do we use, right? Actually, I'm going to show you the answer in the next slide, right? I believe everyone knows it's actually a train diagram, okay? So what exactly is a train diagram and how is it useful for working backwards problems? So work backwards is a problem where you know the ending quantity and you know the process, right? The step by step, you know the entire story, but you don't know the starting number. You need to find the starting number. Okay, so in that case, we will draw a train diagram to show. Right, so I have the process over here, I have the ending over here. Then how do I find the starting number, right? Can anyone tell me what is this starting number? Should I do 25 plus 10? Is it 25 plus 10 equals to 35? Okay, so since we are working backwards, we need to reverse all the process. Okay, in this case, the number is the same, right? When we calculate backwards, the number is the same, but the sign is reversed, right? So what is the reverse of plus 10? Right, plus 10 if we reverse, plus the opposite sign is minus, so it's minus 10. Okay, and then 25 minus 10 will be equal to, 15. Good. So that you can check now, 15 plus 10 indeed is 25. Okay, next, divided by 2. Something divided by 2 is 8. If I want to reverse the process, I want to work backwards. Should I still do 8 divided by 2? Is it still divide? Right, remember, we keep the number as the same, but the sign is reversed. So we do 8 times 2, right? Divide the opposite is time. 8 times 2 is 16, right? So we will use 16 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2 to give me 8, right? And that is how you get the answer. Okay, so remember, when we are seeing a train diagram, the thing is you want to draw forward and then calculate backward. Follow the story, draw forward everything, then go backward. Okay, and when we go backwards, how do we write down the workings, right? We keep the same number, but reverse the sign. All right, with that, let's take a look at question 1, right? It's at page 164 of your book, right? Page 164, or you can just take a look at the PDF. Okay, so now, when it's a working backwards problem, right? As usual, you need to read the question, underline the keywords. Okay, let's underline it together, right? Tina is thinking of a secret number. A secret number. Do you know what is this secret number? It's a secret, right? You don't know. But we know after adding 5 to the number, then dividing the result by 5, then subtracting 5 from the quotient, right? Quotient is the result of your division, right? And then multiplying the difference by 5. Then the resultant number is 5 more than 50, right? The word resultant means it's the ending number. Okay, so we know the ending number is 5 more than 50. What is her secret number? We know the ending, we want to find the start. We know the ending, we want to find the start. So this is a working backwards problem. And to solve a working backwards problem, we will use a train diagram. For this one, bar model might not be the best because you realize there are a lot of different operations, right? Add and divide and then subtract. Wow, it's a bit hard to show this in a bar model. So we will use a train diagram, right? How do we draw a train diagram? We start off with a blank box, right? We don't know what this number is, but like I said, we draw according to the story. Now I see a lot of, operations, right? Divide, multiply, add, subtract. Can I just randomly list out the thing, right? I say I want to divide first, yeah, and then I multiply. Am I correct? Can I do like this? No, right? A very important thing is to follow the order of the operations, right? We need to read the story carefully, follow the orders. Please do not spam the chat. Okay? All right. So with that, let's follow the order of the story. Right? We start off with a secret number. What's the first thing that you do? You add 5, right? Add 5 means you plus 5. So you draw an arrow to indicate the operation on the top, right? You plus 5 and you reach the next number. But you still don't know this number, right? You don't know. So with that, we divide the result by 5, right? So divide by 5. And then subtract 5 from the quotient, right? So just now I divide by 5. Now subtract means it's minus, right? Minus 5. Minus 5. Then finally, multiplying the difference by 5, right? Multiply by 5. All right. Now with that, the resultant number is 5. So many people see this and then they say, okay, the result is 5. Hello, is that correct? Did I write my result correctly? Now, this is a common mistake that a lot of people do. They will just read the question halfway and then get to the answer, right? No, it is 5 more than 50, right? Let me underline this for you. 5 more than 50. If it's 5 more than 50, then the result should be 5 plus 50, which is 55, right? 55. Okay, so now we have the result. We follow the story all the way from the start to the end, right? List out accordingly, and then we have our ending number. After we draw forward, it's time to go backwards, right? Calculate backwards. Remember, keep the same number, reverse the sign. Okay, so let's have a race together, right? I will draw together with you. Let's see who reach faster. If you have the answer, please type it in the chat. Okay, so times 5, I go backwards. It is divided by 5. 55 divided by 5, 11. Then, don't do 11 minus 5. Remember, when we go backwards, the sign will be reversed. So minus, reverse to plus. Plus 5. 11 plus 5, 16. Okay, then 16. Okay, Joyce, your last step. Take note of your last step. 16 times 5. Right, divide becomes times 5. 16 times 5 is 80. Yes, Young Kai, I see you. You're correct. Good job. Okay, so then 80 plus 5. 80. The last step. Don't get tripped at the last step. The opposite of plus is minus. So it's minus 5. 80 minus 5 is 75. Okay, so I have my answer 75. The starting number is 75. Now, if you want to check your answer, very easy. Just start from the start. Follow the forward operations according to the story and see if you get the correct answer at the end. Okay, so yeah, it's 75. Good job, everybody. Right, I see a lot of 75, 75, 75 in the chat. Good. Okay, so this is the basic working backwards problem where we will do this using a train diagram. Okay, now let's move on to the next question where there is a very special word that you must know the meaning of. Right, so let's read the question. Chan's Bakery had some cupcakes in the beginning. Right, in the beginning had some cupcakes. But like, you don't know how many cupcakes there are, right? You don't know the start. But it's okay. We read the story and see what happened first. Right? On the first day, Chan sold half of them. Chan sold half of them. On the second day, he sold another 16 cupcakes. On the third day, he sold half of the remaining cupcakes. Oh, sold half of the remaining. After that, Chan baked 12 more cupcakes so that he had exactly 34 cupcakes to sell to a kindergarten on the fourth day. That means at the end, he has exactly 34 cupcakes and he sell everything. Okay, so how many cupcakes did Chan have at the beginning? I don't know the beginning, but I know the ending, right? The ending here is at the end, he has exactly 34 cupcakes to sell, right? So the ending is 34. But I don't know the start. If I know the end, but I don't know the start, I know the entire story. Remember, we can draw a train diagram to help us solve the working backwards problem. Okay, so as usual, start by drawing a train diagram. Now, before I continue, right, this is not a working backwards with pure numbers. We are using it in a story and talking about the quantity of items. Now, in that case, I need to remind you a very important point, which is that your train diagram is used to track the number that is left over, right? It is used to track the number that is left over. In other words, we are tracking how many cupcakes we still have, right? The cupcakes that are in the pocket, not the cupcakes that are given away, right? So we always need to keep track. Do we have more left or do we have less in our pocket? Okay, now let's follow the story. There were some cupcakes in the beginning, and the first keyword is a very important keyword, right? It is half. Chan sold half of them. If I say sold half, do you know how to find the remaining number? Divide by 2 means, yeah, it's divide by 2, right? Half, right? It means divide by 2. Why is that the case? That is because we have, let's say this is the whole, right? I sell half of them. I sell half of them. Bye-bye. Right, I sell half already. Then what is the part that is left? It is another half, right? I still keep the other half of the cupcakes in my pocket, right? So from the whole down to the half. The whole, I have two halves. I only want to keep one half. So from two half to one half, it is divided by 2. So the moment you see the word half, you know you need to cut the total by half. Half of it gone, the other half you keep it. So it's divided by 2. All right. Okay, it's divided by 2. Very good. Now it's divided by 2. Now let's look at the next part. Right. On the second day, he sold another 16 cupcakes. If I sell 16 cupcakes, do I have more in my pocket or less in my pocket? I sell 16. I give away 16. So I will have 16 left in my pocket, right? I have 16 left, so I minus 16. Then he sold half of the remaining. That means whatever I have now, I sell half of it again. Whatever I have now, I sell half of it again. So what is the number that I should put here? The operation here. Sell half. Remember, the moment you see give away half, sell half, it is divided by 2, right? We are finding one out of the 2 parts. Then finally, I bake 12 more cupcakes. Bake 12 more cupcakes. So then I will have 12 more cupcakes. It's a plus 12. And the final number here will be 34, right? Exactly 34 at the end. Right, now in that case, we already follow the flow of the story and reach the end. Now it's time to calculate backwards. Right, when I calculate the backwards, remember, keep the number, flip the sign. So from plus 12, let's say 34, I want to go back one step. Right, 34, go back. Then what is the number here? It is minus 12, right? So then plus flip to minus 34 minus 12 is 22. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's not 739, that's a bit far. Okay, but no worries, let's try again together, right? 32, we go back, right? Divide by 2, haha, it's 11. Noah, make sure every step you reverse the sign, right? 22 times 2 is 44. Then, oops, sorry, hold on. Then, from 44, we work backwards again. Flip the sign, minus become plus, right? Plus 16. 44 plus 16 is 60. And what's the final step? Is it 60 divided by 2? Right, divide forward. When I go backward, I reverse the sign. Right, so 60 times 2 is 120. So my answer is 120 cupcakes. All right, so if you really want to check your answer, again, start from 120, follow the flow of the story to see whether you will get your 34 at the end. Okay, so with that, that is how we do question 2. Okay, it's not 739, it's 1120. Okay, so with that, when you see half, you need to divide by 2. Now let's level up a bit, right? More than half. How does it work? Right, let's say teacher Yonglam had 6 pairs, right? As you see, 6 pairs. He ate 2 more than half of his pairs, right? So you see, what does 2 more than half mean? How many pairs were left? Because remember, a train diagram, we are focusing on whatever is left, right? So let's say teacher Yonglam had 6 pairs. What does eat 2 more than half means? Right, it means, first of all, I eat half. But do I only eat half? No, I actually eat 2 more, right? So I eat 2 more. Okay, so let's observe again how it works. Teacher Yonglam, eat half first. When I eat half, then the remaining will be another half. Now, remember, a train diagram is always about tracking what is remaining. So since I'm remaining with 1 half, how do I find 1 half from the whole? I will divide by 2. Okay, so from the whole to the half, I will divide by 2. But then do I only eat half? No leh, I eat 2 more, right? I'm not enough, I eat 2 more. So I eat 2 more. Now here's the question. When I say I eat 2 more, do I have more than half left or less than half left? We are left with more or less than half. Remember, we are looking at the leftover part. Where is the leftover part? The leftover part is here, right? This part, which is 2 less than half, right? I have less than half left. So to show less, it's minus 2, right? In other words, think about it. You take away half already, you still take 2 more. The moment you take 2 more, there are lesser in the half. Lesser in than the half, right? That is left over, right? So from 6, divide by 2 is 3. 3 minus 2, you have 1 pair left over, right? So this is 2 more than half, right? So remember, when we are taking away more than half, first cut half, divide by 2. Then subtract, right? That means you take more away. Okay, so with that, let's look at question 3, shall we? Right, ABC Telco sold 20 more than half. Sold 20 more than half. First, you sell half, then you sell 20 more, right, of the mobile phones in January. It sold 15 more than half the remaining number of mobile phones in February. So then he continued to sell 15 more than half. Okay, then it had 75 mobile phones left in March. So the ending is 75. So how many mobile phones did ABC Telco carry at first? So we know the ending is 75. We need to find the start. Now, I don't know the start, then it's okay lah. We draw a box. Then we work backwards using a train diagram. Right, so we have a box. Now, let's draw the train diagram, right? First, we sell 20 more than half, right? So in that case, do we focus on the 20 or focus on the half first? Right. We always focus on the half first, right? I take away half, then I decide, do I take more than or less than that? So we always focus on the half first. So since I sell half, then it's a divide by 2. But then I have to sell 20 more. I have to sell 20 more. So if I sell 20 more, that means I give away another 20. So whatever is left in my pocket, it's less. I give away 20 more, there's less in my pocket. So it's a minus 20. Then we continue, sell 15 more than half. We continue by selling 15 more than half. Now, can you tell me what are the operations I should put on top of the 2 arrows? Now, should I put minus 15 first or divide by 2 first? Should I put minus 15 first or divide by 2 first? Okay, so I have to divide by 2 and then minus 15. Okay, we always sell away half and then we think, hey, is it more than or less than half? Okay, and then we have up to 75 at the end. Right, once we reach the end, we will just calculate backwards. Remember, keep the number, reverse the sign. Right, 75, don't minus 15, reverse the sign. 75 plus 15 is equal to 90. It's until 6:30 p.m. Okay, 90. Then 90 divided by 2. Flip 2 times 2. That will be 180. Okay, now let's have a race. What's the final answer? What's the final answer? Okay, 180 plus 20. That will be 200. And then 200 times 2 will be 400. So again, we found our answer. Yay, very easy, right? 400 mobile phones at first. Okay, so you can work forward to check your answer. But most importantly, remember, selling more than half means you throw away half first, then you keep half. Then if you sell more, that means you are throwing away more stuff. You will have less in your pocket. That's why it is minus. All right, so that is what happens if you give away more than half. Now we just talk about more than half. The opposite of that will be less than half. Okay, wow, I just noticed there are so many answers in the chat. 400. Yes, very good. We arrived at the answer together. With that, let's look at the next scenario, right? What happens if you have less than half, right? So actually, it's not just me who has 6 pairs, right? Teacher Ming Jie also had 6 pairs, right? He ate 1 fewer than half. Perhaps he's not that hungry, right? He didn't even eat half. How many pairs were left? So again, right, we have 1 fewer than half. Should we focus on the 1 first or focus on the half first? My tip is we always focus on the half first, right? Then we decide, we take half first, then we see, is it more than half or less than half? Okay, so here we have 6 pairs at first. So we will eat half of the pairs, right? Eat half first. The moment he eats half, how much is left? How much is left? Yeah, it's another half that is left over. Right, another half that is left over. Let me quickly show the correct animation. So to show the half from the whole, we want to find the half. I will divide by 2. So the leftover is 3. However, did teacher Ming Jie actually eat half of the pairs? Did he actually eat half? No, right? He ate 1 fewer. That means he actually took half, but he decided, I don't want this much. So he put back 1 fewer. If he puts back 1 fewer, where does this 1 fewer go? It will go onto the table, right? Onto the remaining, right? It's also part of the remainder now. So now, if I eat 1 fewer than half, does that mean we are left with more or less than the total? I was supposed to take half, then I decide, okay lah, I'm gonna put back 1. Do I have more leftover or less leftover? I will have more left over, right? Remember, we always think about the number that is left over. So there's more left over, one more left over, so we plus 1. And 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Now you see just nice, I have 4 pairs left over. So moral of the story, if you see taking away less than half, you take half first, then you add back to the remaining. If you take half first, then you add back to the remaining. All right, so with that, let's look at question 4. Supermarket ABC. Wow, this ABC company, so many stuff. Okay, ABC supermarket sold 4 fewer bags than half the number of bags of rice on the first day of a week. Right. Then on the second day, it sold 3 fewer bags than half of the remaining number. Then another 10 bags of rice were sold on the third day. And in the end, there were 30 bags of rice left in the supermarket. So we know the ending now. The ending is 30 bags. So we are finding, right, there were how many bags of rice in the store at first? Okay, so with that, how do we do this? I'm selling 4 fewer bags than half. We know the end, we don't know the start. It's okay, let's try doing with a train diagram. Okay, so let's try the train diagram, right? First, I sell 4 fewer bags than half. What does that mean? Did I actually sell half? No, I sell half and then I realized, hey, I actually didn't sell this much, right? So that means there's more or less in the remaining. Right, so you see the tip over here. First, of course, I sell 4 fewer bags than half. We focus on the half first, right? So that means I was about to sell half, but I didn't actually, right? There's still 4 fewer, right? 4 fewer than half. That means I actually have more left over in my pocket. It's a plus 4, right? The remaining, there's 4 more. Don't calculate yet. The next step is selling 3 fewer bags than half. The next day, I sell 3 fewer bags than half. So sell half first, but you realize it's 3 fewer than half. I didn't actually sell that much, so it's a plus 3. Okay, and then, right, another 10 bags were sold on the third day. So if I sell another 10, then easy lah, I will have 10 less, so minus 10. Right, I sell 10 away. And with that, I am left with 30 bags, right? Can everyone follow? Okay, so finish the train diagram, and then now it's everyone's favorite part, calculation. Okay, remember to hydrate yourself. And now let's proceed with the calculation part. Okay, we are ending with 30. We move back to the start. Okay, so remember, keep the number, reverse the sign. Minus, reverse it, become plus. 30 plus 10, 40. 40, is it plus 3? A lot of people will fall into the trap here, right? Is it a plus 3? No, it's a minus 3, right? 40 minus 3 is 37. 37, reverse the divide sign. 37 times 2 is 74. Then, wow, there are some fast people. Good, good, good. Okay, continue. Raise after me. Right, 74 minus 4 is 70. 70, reverse the sign, times 2, 140. Right, so there are 140 bags of rice at first. Okay, so again, you can check your answer by moving forward. Okay, so now, moral of the story, whenever you see more than half, less than half, don't worry, right? Think about how much is remaining. Okay, so I feel like after today's lesson, I can set like 100 questions in my mock test and everyone will get it right, regarding this. Okay, so yeah, this is the more than less than half part. Okay, so this is actually not the hardest type of working backwards problems, just that you guys might get easily confused. Fewer, more, does that mean I plus or minus? Always think about the remaining for that. Okay, and now the hardest type of problem is this, right? Please flip over to page 172, right? I'll show you what type of problem is more trickier. Okay, so here we have Nina and Owen, right? Nina and Owen have 160 beads altogether. First, Nina gives Owen the number of beads Owen has. What does this statement mean? It's okay, we keep it at first. Then Owen gives Nina the number of beads Nina has currently. What does this mean? Wow, very complicated. But it's okay. We read the entire question first. Finally, they end up with the same number of beats each. How many beats did Nina have at first? Now, we know the total is 160. We just don't know how many each of them have, right? We don't know the start. But do we know the ending here? Even though no numbers are given, do we know the ending? We actually do, right? Because we know finally the end beats each of them will have. At the end, they will have the same number of beats, so they are equal. So you just split 160, right? Divide by 2, and you realize each of them will get 80 beats at the end. So this is the ending number. We just need to figure out what's the operation in the train diagram. Oh, it's lagging. YouTube is lagging. Okay, give some time. Okay. Is it clear now? Okay, I can see the replay is clear. All right, so we know the ending is 80. Let's figure out what are the events that happen. Now, there's another difference here, right? Previously, we only draw one train diagram. But here, do you think it's enough to only draw Nina? I mean, I want to find Nina's number of beats, but is it enough to draw for Nina only? Can we draw for Nina only? No, because here we need to track two people's quantities, right? Nina and Owen at the same time, right? So Nina and Owen, they are giving and taking from each other at the same time. So we have to track their quantities together. So the hard part about this question is you need to keep track of two train diagrams at the same time. Or for my CO kids, you might do it with a table. It's okay. All right. So now let's track what happens. So first, Nina and Owen. What happened? Nina gives Owen the number of beats Owen has. Okay, so let's have a quick check. What does that mean? Imagine Owen has 10. If Owen has 10, Nina will have to give Owen however much Owen has, right? Owen has 10, Nina will have to give 10. That means Owen at the end will have 10 plus 10. Now let me change a bit. If Owen has 30 at first, then Nina will need to give Owen whatever he has, which is 30. Then Owen at the end will have 30 plus 30 beats. But what does that mean to Owen's quantity? Do you know Owen plus how many? You don't know the exact number. But what you know is one set of 30 becomes two sets of 30. Just now, one set of 10 becomes two sets of 10. So actually, you will realize, Owen's quantity is double. Owen actually doubled his number of beats, right? It's a times 2. But if Owen times 2, Nina, I don't know how much, right? It's okay. Leave it blank first. Okay, then let's proceed to the next step. The next step, Owen gives Nina the number of beats Nina have. Whatever Nina have, Owen will give it the same number. That means it's Nina's beats that double this time. So Nina's number will times 2. And that will lead to their ending. Finally, they end up with 80 beats each. Okay, now that we reach the ending, it's time to work backwards to the start. Okay, up till now, is everything okay? Right, the most important thing is realize what give the number of bits he has currently means. That basically means doubling the amount of the receiver. Okay, so now we want to work backwards, and I want to ask you, which train diagram should I start from? For example, do you think the first step going backwards, I should work on Nina or work on Owen? Where should I start from? Okay, so you see there's a times 2 over here. You know how to reverse it, right? So I will just go backwards, divide by 2. 80 divided by 2 equals 40, right? So you know Nina has 40 beats at first, right? Before this operation, right? Not really at first, but like before the second round, Nina has 40. Then what about Owen? There's no sign here. Okay, now at this point, there are two ways to understand it. Number one, Nina go from 40 to 80. That means Nina gains 40 beats, right? Where did the 40 beats come from? Did it come from the sky? Did it come from anyone else? No, it's Owen who gave Nina this 40 beats. So that means Owen give away 40. Owen has 40 less. Okay, so then we reverse the process. After giving 40, Owen has 80. So before that, Owen has 80 plus 40, 120 beats. That's the first way to understand that from the give and take logic. Now, the second logic though is, remember how I said that they are just giving and taking from each other? The total quantity did not change. In internal transfer, in giving and taking, the total number did not change. So that means at this point, the total is 160. At this point, the total is 160. At the start, the total is also 160. It never changes. So if you know one number, you can just use the total to minus it, right? 160 minus 40 equals 120. And you will get Owen's number here as well. All right, so there are two ways to think about it, from constant total, from give and take. You can use both perspectives to check your answer. Now let's reverse, right? One more step. Now, here, Nina has 40 and Owen has 120. We still need to reverse one more time, right? Some of you have given me the answer. Very good. Your answer is correct. 120, go back here, right? Divide by 2. So you have 60 at first. Owen has 60. You also know the total is 160. So how do you find Nina's number here? The total is 160. Owen already has 60. So then Nina's number is 160 minus 60 equals 100. Right? So that means Nina has 100 beats at first. All right. So here's the moral of the story, right? We are only focusing on internal transfer, right? Internal transfer. The sum will not change, right? If I am giving you, you're taking from me, right? We didn't throw away anything. We didn't bring in new things. Then the sum, the total will never change at any point of time. Okay, so I see so many people telling me 100, 100. That's right. Very good job. The answer is 100. Okay, so let me give you some time to take the notes. Okay, and then we're gonna complete the next section soon. All right, so with that, let's take a look at the next part. Okay, the next part is also a very common topic in GEP, right? Stop spamming, listen to me. The next topic, very common topic. In fact, it's gonna come soon in FHA courses, right? It is a cyclic problem, right? So what does cyclic mean, right? Please turn to page 212 to prepare. Cyclic means there's gonna be a pattern that keeps on repeating, right? So the very important thing here is to find out where is the repeating pattern? How many terms can we group together? Right, with that, let's take a look at question 6, page 212. Right, now read the question carefully. Extend your right hand. Okay, so let's extend our right hand together. Right, start from the thumb. Start from the thumb and count from 1 in the order of thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb, index finger, and then you keep going, keep going, keep going, right? So you realize that you're counting the fingers back and forth. So which finger will we end at when we count to 206? Now, of course, some of you might think, teacher, you don't have 206. I just count one by one. Can. But remember, you only have more than a minute, right? Slightly more than a minute for one question in the actual exam. So maybe listing is not the correct way to go here, right? So maybe you want to list out more carefully and find the pattern. Now, I have guided a lot of students in this question. For some reason, they always get stuck at finding the pattern, especially when the question is longer. So my advice is, if you're really not sure where's the pattern, count your fingers while you list the terms one by one, right? So let's follow the order, right? I'll just write the first letter, thumb, index, middle, ring, little, ring, middle, index, thumb, index. Now think about it. I stop here for a while. Thumb, index, middle, ring, little, ring, middle, index, thumb, index. Where do you think I'll go next? Right? Maybe take some time to think, where do you think I will go next? Middle, then ring, then little. Middle, then ring, then little, then come back to ring, then so on and so forth. At this point, you might have realized where is the repeating pattern. How many fingers, how many counts does it to form a repeating group? Use divide, right? But divide by what? Of course, I know I need to use divide, but divide by what? Right, actually, you will just continue. Thumb, index, middle, ring, little, ring, middle, index. Thumb, a lot of people say, hey, this is one group. Okay, if you think this is one group, let's see, then the next group must be the same as the previous group, right? But I am starting from a different finger instead. So if your first group and second group, the start is different, then it is not the correct group. How many fingers are there, or how many counts are there in a group? A lot of people are giving the wrong answer, spamming the wrong answer, in fact. Okay, so it is actually this group, right? 8 in a group. Thumb, index, middle, ring, little ring, middle, index. Then you see thumb, index, middle, ring. Okay, this is another group. So there are actually 8 terms in a repeating group. Okay, so for cyclic problem, the first thing is you must definitely identify the group correctly. Okay, then you will see 8 terms in a group. So 206 counts in total. If I count 8 by 8, how many full groups of 8 are there? So I will need to divide by 8. Okay, so can anyone calculate for me? 206 divided by 8 is 25, remainder 6. Right, so remainder 6 and 25, what do they mean? This is very important. Every time you do a cyclic problem, after division, you need to ask yourself, what does each number mean? Right, 25 here refers to 25 full groups. That means you calculated 25 full times. Right, you repeated this for 25 full times. But then there's a remainder 6. That means you need to count 6 extra times, 6 extra counts. So from the start of the group, you count 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ring finger. So with that, your answer is D. Yeah, the 6th term from the left, correct, right? You just need to count 6 extra terms. Okay, now here's the question, by the way. What happens if you have remainder 0? For example, 200, right? 200 divided by 8 is 25. You stop at an exact full group. If that's the case, then you will take the last item of the group. If it's remainder 0, that means you stop at the end of a full group. The last thing you count should be the last item of the full group, provided it's remainder 0. Okay, very good. Some of you still remember. Okay, so for cyclic problem, do take note, what does the remainder and the quotient mean? Okay, now this is still an easy one, where I'm asking one certain term. Are you ready for the next question? Right, the next question is on your next page, actually 213, right, page 213. Get ready, yeah? Okay. Now, this question says, Zoe wrote some letters on the blackboard following the pattern. Okay, it's called Atlanta, Atlanta, Atlanta. Very obviously, can you see the pattern over here? Atlanta, right? It keeps on repeating Atlanta, Atlanta, Atlanta. So there are 7 letters in a group, right? So she wrote a total of 96 letters. Okay, so what do you think I need to do first? Right, Atlanta, 7 letters. Hey, spelling, don't spell the wrong number of letters, Okay, so then what do you need to do first? Total is 96. There are 7 in a group. Of course, the next thing you do is to read the question, right? It says, among them, that means among the 96 letters, the letter A appeared how many more times than the letter T? So you need to find out A within the 96 letters. How many A are there? How many T are there? How many more, right? The difference, right? So first we need to count how many A and T are there. Do you think you should list out all 96 letters? Or do you still remember what we need to do, right? In the cyclic problem, you don't need to list out one by one. Once you found the number of groups, or rather, once you found the group here, Then you need to find out how many groups are there altogether. Now I have 96 letters in total, 7 letters in a group. So 96 divided by 7 will be, can anyone calculate for me, please? Yes, some of you give me the answer correctly. 96 divided by 7 is 13 remainder 5, right? Once you divide, ask yourself what they mean. 13 means 13 groups. 5 means 5 extra letters. So we need to look in the groups and also in the extra letters, how many targets can we find, right? So let's find one by one. We need to find for A, we need to find for T. Now for A, we know we have 13 groups, right? So let's count group by group. How many A's are there, right? Every group, I have 1, 2, 3 A's. So then that will be 13 groups together, right? Every group has a 3. 13 times 3. Okay, am I done? Am I done?
Yes.
No, we're not done, right? There's a remainder 5. Okay, so all the people on YouTube, remainder 5, look at the remainder. Now, does remainder 5 means I plus 5? Yeah, I have 5 extra, what? Not just the 5th one from the left, Here, the remainder 5 means I still need to look at 5 more letters after the 13 groups. Among them, how many of them are 8? It's 1, 2. 2 of them are 8, so I need to add 2 more. Okay, 13 times 3 plus 2, right? What's the total answer? It is 41, right? So my answer is 41 for A. But remember, the question is asking, A appeared how many more times than T? So I guess now we need to look at T, right? How many times did T appear? Now, again, we have 13 groups, right? 13 groups. Every group got how many T? Look at the full group here. Every group got how many T? Every group got 13. Every group got 2, right? 1, 2. So 13 times 2 is the number of T's you get in the groups. But don't forget the remainder, right? This time, look at the remainder. How many more T's are there? There's one more, right? So you need to add 1. So how many T's are there? 27. Okay, now can anyone in the chat type out what is the final equation that I need to do? How many more A's are there than T? Okay, calculate carefully, yeah? So how many A's are there? 41. T, 27. How many more A's are there? 41 minus 27. We are finding the difference, and the answer is 14. Okay, so there are 14 more A's than T's. All right, so with that, that is how we get the answer. Right, if they are asking how many times did something appear, you need to look at the groups. You need to look at the remainder. Or sometimes you need to look at something else, right? Let's look at the next question, right? The next question is simpler, hopefully. Right, let's take a look at this, right? Page 215. I want you to observe the pattern and notice something. Right, a string of digits is arranged in the following pattern: 111, 1324, 1324, 1324. What is the 65th digit? All right, now first, look at the pattern I gave you. Am I repeating it from the start? Right, I see 111, 1324, 1324. Aha, I repeat here. Is this my repeating group? Or can anyone type to me what is the correct repeating group here? What are the numbers in a repeating group? How many digits are there in a repeating group? Oh, someone say alien. Someone say 3 extra in fact. Yes, alien, right? That's the term we use in our classes. Because you realize not everything is repeating, right? We have 1324, we have 1324, 1324. Obviously, there is a repeating pattern here. But you look at the front, 1, 1, 1. What is it doing? Right? These digits at the front are not part of the repeating pattern. Like 1324, correct? Or you might think 3241 also can. Okay, now 111, this is what we call distractor. They are there to distract us, to confuse us, so that it's harder to find the repeating pattern. But here, teacher Yong Lam need to remind you, the repeating pattern may not start right at the start of the pattern, right? It could be After a few terms later, then only I start to repeat 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, so here, very obvious, there are 4 terms in a group. Okay, 4 terms in a group. I know. 4 terms in a group. 65th digit, 65 divided by 4. Haha, am I correct? Can I do 65 divided by 4? I mean, 4 in a group, right? So it's 65 divided by 4. Yes or no? No, right? Because when I divide, before I divide, I need to make sure I am starting from the repeating pattern. But over here, you notice I have the distractors in front. I need to get rid of the distractor first. There are 3 distractors in front. I shouldn't count them in the numbers that are repeating. So instead of doing 65 divided by 4 right away, I need to minus 3 first. Get rid of the distractor, right? 65 minus 3 equals 62. Then only I realize, this 62 is the number of terms in the repeating pattern. And I can safely divide it by 4. That will be equal to 15 remainder 2. Then some of you finish this step already, then you will say, haha, answer is 2. I mean, it looks similar, but remainder 2 doesn't mean the answer is 2. It just means the last digit is in the second position. Now, what is the digit in the second position? First, second, it's 3, right? So the answer is 3. Okay, now from this question, I have did like around 3 careless mistakes purposely, just to show you how you should be careful when you see this sort of questions. Okay, yeah, the answer is 3. All right, so it's the same thing, right? All you need to do is to just be careful, find the repeating pattern. Now with that, let's take a look at the next question, right? This time, I'm not asking one term. I'm not asking how many terms, right? I'm asking what is the sum of the first 75 terms in each sequence below? Okay, so let's read the first question, right? We have 2 questions this time. 381927, 381927. Haha, can you tell me for question 1, how many terms are there in a repeating group? How many numbers are there in a repeating group? How many numbers are there? 381927, 381927. Very clearly, it is 6 in a group. 6 in a group. Now, since you already found a repeating group, do you think you want to still list out the numbers and add it one by one? Should I still list out the numbers, all 75 of them, and then add it one by one? No, we can add group by group. The moment you found a repeating pattern, add up group by group. So then, how many groups are there? Right, we want the first 75 terms. So all I need to do is 75 divided by 6, which is, calculate for me. 75 divided by 6 is what? All right. Yes, wow, very fast calculation. Good job. It is 12 remainder 3. Right, 12 remainder 3. Now, the moment you did your division, remind yourself again, right, what each number means. 12 means 12 groups. 3 means 3 extra. Okay, so now you need to find out what is the sum of a group. Now, one group, the sum will be 3 plus 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 7. Okay, now can anyone give me the sum? Haha, this is there's a hidden knowledge point over here, right? Should you add the numbers one by one, right? P3 is the third grade, all right? 381927, do you need to add them one by one? No need, okay, because you see there are some best friend pairs, right? We have 1 and 9, 8 and 2, 3 and 7. They all will give me 10, 10, 10. So the answer is 30. All right, one group, the sum is 30. How many groups do we have again? Oh, someone give the correct answer already. Good, right? So it's 12 groups. So 12 times 30 plus, wait a second. I have a remainder 3. Does remainder 3 mean I add 3 to the sum? What does the remainder 3 here? What does the remainder 3 mean? It means there are 3 extra terms. So I need to start up a new group and pick the three starting numbers, which are 3, 8, and 1, right? There are three extra numbers. I need to add them to our sum. 3 plus 8 plus 1. Okay, 12 times 30 is 360. 3 plus 8 plus 1 is 12. So 360 plus 12, 372, right? That is how I get to my answer. Okay, yes, the answer is 372. Now, the previous question, the answer is 3, correct. Now, with that, let's take a look at question 2. Question 2 is a bit trickier, right? First, I want to give you some time. Find the repeating group, please. Find the repeating group. Find the repeating group. How many terms are there? Should I start from the start right away? Yeah, I see 2, 3. I see 2, 3. Teacher Yong Lam saying, oh, 2, 3, 8. 2, 3, repeat. Yeah, is this a group? No, you need to see 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 8. There's no 2, 3, 8. Right, what is the repeating group here? The repeating group is 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Because you see the next one, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so you see that's repeating. Not at the start, right? Teacher Yong Lam is evil. He set this question to trip you guys up, right? But also, Teacher Yong Lam bring you to see the correct answer, right? So you see, I'm repeating from here, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Those in front are the distractor. There are 3 distractors. Starting from the 4th term, I will have 5 in a group. Now, I want the first 75 terms, right? But there's distractors in front, so can I divide right away? Can I divide right away? Cannot, right? I will need to subtract the 3 distractors first, right? Bring them out before I divide. So 75 minus 3 equals 72. There are 72 terms in the repeating groups. So 72 divided by 5. That will be ugly writing. 72 divided by 5. 14 remainder 2. Right. Again, once you do your division, ask yourself, what does the quotient mean? What does the remainder mean? Okay. So 14 is 14 groups. The quotient is always the full groups. 2 means 2 extra terms. All right. So with that, we can now find out the sum, right? First, we find group by group, right? What is the sum of one group? One group you have 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Add them up, right? 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is equal to, tell me, what is it? 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 add together, right? You see best friend pairs again. 3 and 7, 2 and 8, 10, 10, 5, 25. One group is 25. We have 14 groups. So we have 25 times 14. Okay, and then what should I check next? What should I check next? Is it only the group? No, there's a remainder too. So remember, you also need to check the remainder. Remainder means I need to add 2 extra terms of the repeating group. So add a 2, add a 3, right? Add a 2, add a 3. And am I done? Am I done? Am I done? Really? Or did I miss out something? What did I miss out? What did I miss out? It feels like I'm missing something else. I want the first 75 terms. Are all of them in the group? No, the distractors in front, even though they are not in repeating groups, they are part of the first 75 terms. So I need to add them in as well. So bring that back in, plus 2, plus 3, plus 8. Right, then you just calculate. Okay, don't just plus 2 plus 3 from the remainder. Yes, remainder you need to count, but the distractors should be counted as well. And my final answer is 368. Right? If you don't believe me, you calculate yourself. It is 368. All right. Now, this is our question 9, right? Which is what normal questions on scientific problems are like. Now, for the end of this lesson, right, the last question, I want to introduce something that is more interesting, right? Have you seen cyclic problems in a table form? Okay, numbers are placed in 5 columns, A, B, C, D, E, right? The names of the columns are A, B, C, D, E, as shown below. The numbers are arranged in a pattern. Can you see the pattern? Very obvious, right? You see your first row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second row, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Third row, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so on and so forth. Every new row, 5 numbers. Every new row, 5 numbers. Now I'm asking you, the number 488 is in which row, right? Give me a ordinal number, and in which column? Give me a letter. Okay? Now, can you see the pattern in this question, right? In the table, and do you know what you need to do? What you need to do, what you need to do, right? You know, every row has 5 numbers. Every row has 5 numbers. Every row has 5 numbers. So of course, to find out how many rows you need before you reach 488, you will just divide by 5, right? Every row 5 numbers, every row 5 numbers. By the time it reaches 488, how many rows are we done? 488 divided by 5. Okay, what is 488 divided by 5? 488 divided by 5 is 97, remainder 3. Right, so after you do your division, right, make sure you ask yourself, what's the meaning of the quotient? What's the meaning of the remainder? Now, 97 means 97 full rows, right? First row, second row, third row. I finish everything completely for 97 rows. Remainder 3 means I still have 3 extra numbers that comes after the row, right? So now that you did it, let's ask ourselves the first question, right? Which row is 488 in? Now, I know there are 97 rows, right? 97 rows, it's in the 97th row. Correct or not? Correct or not? Right, 97th row. No, because 97 means 97 full rows. I have 97 full rows, and then I still have 3 more numbers. My first 97 rows are full. Where should these 3 extra numbers go? They should go to the next row, right? Which is the 98th row. Right, we should go to the 98th row. The 3 extra numbers go to the next row. And then we put the 3 extra numbers. First in row A, second in row B, the final one in row C. And that's how you get the answer. Right here, the most important thing is when your pattern is in row form, your remainder will go into the next row after the full row. All right. So this is an interesting number table question, right? The pattern lies in what happens in every row. Okay. Now, with that, that is the last question. Hopefully everyone has had fun. Okay, so with that, that's all for today, right? If you have any questions, feel free to raise them in the group chat. Okay, I will send the post-class practice later. I look forward to everyone's submission as well, right? We need to keep fighting. We have around 6 or 7 more weeks until the end of this plan. Okay, so with that, here's a final reminder, right? If you are interested in our English prep materials, okay, please remember to take a look at this poster, right? And then share it on your social media, WeChat, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, right? And then get 20 likes. Then please contact teacher Ming Jie to receive these mock papers, right? Please contact teacher Ming Jie, right? He should be the person you're looking for. And yeah, with that, that will be the end of today. Right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you next week or maybe on the mock test video. Okay. So yeah, goodbye, everybody. If you have any questions, please reply in the chat as well. Okay, goodbye, everybody. I will see you when I see you again.